love your enemy. Better yet, not only love your enemy, work to make your enemy your friend. Now, from the security level, of course, if your nation or if you are attacked, you have every right to defend yourself, even using deadly force. I'm not telling you not to. But let us, as a planet, start working on loving each other. We do that. If we do that as a race, there will no longer be terrorism. Now I know you're thinking this guy's naive. That can't happen. Yes, it can. And it can because there is a God. Bottom line, there is a God. I can't prove it. Many scientists would say I'm full of malagazoons. Trust me, there is. Love each other. Love each other. Take those pictures. And in the meantime, remember that it is true that you and humanity really does matter. Now, after this centuries-long video, we're now going to return to the... Let me just end this by saying, anger is okay. But more importantly, finding solutions to each problem is better. Can we solve every problem that humanity has? 99% of it we can. But it's going to take you. And don't forget that you, yeah, that's right, you and humanity really does matter. This is Albert Turcaso of Humanity Matters, and I want you to remember a couple of numbers. This number is to Congressman Mike Doyle's D.C. office. It's 1-202-225-2135. And of course, I need you to call Congress, and the congressional switchboard is 1-202-225-3121. That's 1-202-225-3121. So why do I want you to call Congress now? Of course, in the past, I've had you call about security reasons, and of course, the recent healthcare law. So why now? Well, I'm going to tell you a little story. I got bugs in my face. That's not the story, but sorry about that, but we're going to leave that in there. Unfortunately, there's a couple of little flies, but we'll leave that in there. It's not really a story, it's an event. I recently went into a dollar store, and I wanted to buy an American flag. I was thinking about buying one for my van. Unfortunately, my windows don't work in the traditional way, so I couldn't have it on my van anyway. But just to see if they still had car flags, I wanted to find that out. So I went into a dollar store, and I was very upset that I found the United States flag, and it was exactly what I would have wanted had I had a car. So you might think, well, why was I upset? Well, let me get a little bit close here. I'm upset because this American flag, the symbol of our freedom, the symbol of everything American, was manufactured and made in China. Made in China. Our American flag is not even made in America. America, Pittsburghers, Pennsylvanians, and my fellow Americans. This is an insult to our freedom and into everything about this country. Now, it's important to note a couple of things here. I am not an isolationist. I'm not saying that we shouldn't work with other countries and that they don't deserve to have a good economy also. But the American flag should be made in America. The Italian flag should be made cut flag should be made in Italy. The Japanese flag should be made in Japan. The Chinese flag should be made in China. The Spanish flag should be made in Spain. The Russian and the German and the British flags should be made in their respective country, and only in their respective countries. That is the very symbol of whatever that country stands for. And to have it made in a foreign nation is somehow disrespectful. Is somehow, to me, sacrilegious almost. But it also should matter to you, and you should call Congress on this issue. Because while you may say everything is made in China these days, and what's the difference if it's a flag or a VCR or DVD player? Well, the difference is there's a lot of Americans out of work today, and part of the reasons why we're out of work is because we're not manufacturing things anymore. This is the fault of corporate America. This is the fault of the Environmental Protection Agency. This is the fault of other government agencies. But ultimately, this is the fault of us, the American people, and the consumer. We need to stand up and say, you know what? Our flag is sacred, and all of the industries that we used to be the leader in mean something to our nation. So I'm going to call, and I'm going to ask you to call Congress and ask them to write a law, a bill, passing the law that any American patriotic materials must only be made and manufactured by American companies in America. Our flag should be made in America. It should not be made in China. And with respect to my Chinese friends and fans, I want you to succeed and your homeland to succeed also. But there are some things that should not be manufactured outside of a nation. And be it the United States flag or the British flag should only be made in the United Kingdom. We've got to understand sovereignty in economics, pride, and patriotism hold a special place. And so for that reason, I'm asking you to call Congress and get them to create a bill that may be called the American Flag Act, which essentially would prohibit the flag being made outside of the United States. And if we need to fund companies in order to make the United States American flag Old Glory, well, let's do it. We've lost too many industries. The steel industry, our automotive industry is not so hot. You know, we don't even make electronics in America anymore. And we're becoming a nation of nothing but importations. Nothing but imports. I say to you, my fellow Pittsburghers, I say to you, my fellow Americans, call Congress today and every day. Let them know that Albert Torcaso, Torcaso, of Humanity Matters, believes in freedom and is not an isolationist. But when it comes to the American flag, it should only be made in America. We need to start making things and manufacturing things in America. So don't just call Congress, call the local corporations. And you know what? Call the White House. Give them a call. Because you know what? I care about other nations. But nobody, and I mean nobody, messes with my flag. With that, I'm going to end for the night. I'm going to remind you that every nation on earth matters. Every human on earth matters. Because it is very true. Very, very true. That you and humanity really does matter. But when you call Congress at 1-202-225-3121 and you tell them you want a new bill, ultimately a new law passed that protects the flag and only has it made in America, when you do that, you tell them that this is something worth fighting for legally and peacefully. You tell them the time to act for justice, fairness, and what is right is now. And we must not ever retreat in these duties. So I'm counting on all of you to ensure that the American flag, the symbol of this nation, starts to be remanufactured in the United States of America. With that, I'm going to bid you a farewell for now and remind all of you to have a great summer and fall. In the meantime, you matter. I'm Albert Torcaso, your host of Humanity Matters. A few years back, I talked about the importance of being a safe driver and paying attention to the road. Well, you know, everyone, I drive almost every day, and it's really been quite upsetting lately as to how poorly I'm watching people drive. And it's not that I like to get upset. I don't get upset per se, but it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, to give you an idea how ridiculous it is, I've actually caught people holding their phone, texting while driving. Now, wait a minute, people. Wait a minute. Let's get this straight. You're driving and you're trying to text. You know what you're supposed to be doing when you're driving? You're supposed to be driving. You're not supposed to be looking for phones, being on a cell phone. You're not supposed to be texting going, you are driving. Let's get this straight. Do you realize what you're doing? You are driving a vehicle that is at least 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. You are in possession of a deadly weapon. If you don't pay attention, you can kill yourself, you can kill your family. But that's not all. You can kill other people too, and you can even kill us. So we want you to do something. We want you to learn how to drive. And by the way, that includes these important little side bonuses. When you drive and you're going to make a left turn, you use a turn signal. When you drive and you're going to make a right turn, you use a right turn signal. When you drive, you don't just go swerving inside and outside of other lanes. You don't go through red lights just because you can. You're driving. You're in control of a deadly weapon. Okay? As a matter of fact,